Paulo Freire, the Brazilian educator and philosopher, was born in Recife, where we are right now. We know that his work has had effect all over the world. I asked him about religion at the time. He was a strongly religious person, and you see his response, yes.
Okay. Filming. Okay.
Paulo, as a Protestant, I grew up with the idea that all of this glory and beauty and so forth was a very symbol of oppression. And you seem to have embraced it.
Yeah, look, but maybe first of all, I should tell you that I think, no, and I hope that I am much more a man of faith than a religious man. Maybe I have to work a little bit on this difference. That is, I strongly believe I never could think of the inexistence of God for even 1 second. Nevertheless, more and more, I don't feel too much the need for a church in order for me to discover God. Because above all, for me, the true temple of God is your body, is my body, is our bodies. My rejection mainly to the bureaucratic aspects of the church life, for example. No matter it is the Catholic, no matter it is the Protestant church, and no matter. That is, in some moment, even though the churches are strongly becoming world, they forget the world and they think just of heaven.
Yes.
It is as if the poor, in knowing that they are poor, they became satisfied just because they know that they are being loved by God. I am not a professional of theology. Nevertheless, I also recognize how theology of liberation touched me and how much I also touched the theologians of liberation.
So liberation theology began to design a project of empowerment within the church structures by turning theology on its head. In other words, let's look at the way people live, especially the poor. Instead of just offering them charity and saying, you'll be grand in heaven, don't worry about that because, your suffering here it's like passing. You'll have a great time when you get up there. So they turned this on its head and they said, hey, there's loads of suffering here that's not necessary. There's no God who wills, God that we believe in, who wills that you suffer just for the sake of it. And there's a whole load of stuff that is of our own making and of the making of the society that we live in, but which we are disenfranchised in. So how do we go about redressing that?
The theology of liberation does not dichotomize worldliness from transcendentality. I think that the other things come up from this impossibility to dichotomize here and there. That this theology of liberation discovered the obvious, that in order for us to go there, it's necessary to be here. Then I cannot arrive over there if I don't start from some place. And this place I start is precisely the world. And secondly, after that, I think that it became easy to perceive that our great task is to make the heaven here. And now, that is to build it, happiness here, and not just to wait for arriving there. Then, to the extent that I don't dichotomize worldliness from transcendentality, necessarily I understand the human beings historically. I understand the human beings in their relationships, and also I understand them here and now fighting for being. And then the question now is whether I choose for progressive world or for a reactionary, immobilizing one. Because maybe of that, I repeat to you that I feel myself much more a man of faith than a religious man. I think that one of the virtues which we have to create in ourselves when we think to change the world is precisely the virtue or the quality of dealing with the difference, and of being with the differences and learning with the difference. I have nothing with you, against you, if you have the same dream, because that you would like to have a world less ugly. This is what I want also. Why to fight with you? Because you don't like the Saturdays. Yes. You say that is, I don't fight because of the adjective things, yes, but because of the substantive things. Then what I want is a world in which it is easier for us to love. This is what you want also. I think that the question for us is not to feel superior or inferior to the other believers, to the extent that we believe in different way. No? For example, I also know or recognize that the faith has also need some material box, for example, let us use this metaphor. That is, there is a certain relationship between my faith and the way how I manifest it. It's beautiful.
I think the essence of the kind of Protestantism that I was reared around and my father wanted to free me from was the belief that covered ignorance, that did not question. You had no right to question. And my father was constantly questioning.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from him. And that was a good thing.
Good thing, yeah.
But what I did not get from him was the kind of relaxation in being that you seem to have.
Yeah.
Where did you think that comes from in your background?
Yeah. I think that it comes mainly from I would say, fundamental way of understanding our own position in the world, I think. That is, I am sure that one of the things we should ask every day to ourselves is, why am I here? And with whom am I? With whom I fight, and against whom I fight. What is my dream? In favor of what must I be in history? No? I think that, for example, the more I asked questions like this, the more I perceived the need I had to be consistent with my friendship with Christ, for example.
Your friendship with Christ.
Yes, with Christ. No, it is an arrogance, maybe. No?
That's a beautiful phrase.
Yeah.
Not fear of Christ.
Yes.
But friendship with Christ.
Not fear of Christ. I never was afraid of Christ. Because in my point of view, to be afraid of Christ is a way of offending him. And above all, offending him or denying him.
Yes.
It is a contradiction. I cannot understand Christ as a liberator of me, of us, if at the same time I am afraid of him. Maybe I can be afraid, but afraid of offending him, not afraid of him. Christ always meant for me and suggested for me friendship, to be together, to help, to be helped, to answer questions to me and to ask questions to me.
Yes. Okay. Beautiful flowers that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here.
Yes. We should get this man back.
Okay,
Yes. Okay.
let's walk to the car.
Very good.
Yeah.
Who wants a water coconut? Quer, Paulo?
Como que?
Uma água de coco. Aqui, só minha filha, 11 e 10. Senta aqui um pouquinho na sombrinha.
Me dá tua mão aí. Segura, hein?
Sim, pode vir.
After the big snowstorm, thank you.
No, take this.
After the big snowstorm, I went out with my camera. No cars on Fifth Avenue. I went by subway to Rockefeller Center to get my visa. No cars around. Fifth Avenue, people out walking, some on skis. And everybody friendly.
Good.
Like a holiday.
Yes. Muita água.
Wonderful
Aí,
blue
vai
sky.
cair, hein, Mai?
Posso tomar um prato? Seu.
Claro, pode.
Muita água.
Obrigada.